Pedro Alvarez. Hitting pitches faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to change games with a single swing. Pedro has done it all of late. Pacing the Pirates offense with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs. What heroics does Pedro have in store tonight? Find out as the adventures of Alvarez continue.
Pedro Alvarez and the Pirates trying to beat the Cincinnati Reds in Game 2 of the 3-game series. The Pirates' 9-game homestand. Big weekend here in the Berg as the Pirates host the Cincinnati Reds. Greg Brown along with Steve Lass, our own personal superhero. Pardon us if we don't have a little bit of fun with Pedro Alvarez, who bats cleanup for the first time this year. Second time in his career that he's been tried here at that cleanup role. And what the heck, Steve? The Avengers open up this weekend, so it makes some sense. He could be the Pirates' superhero of the future.
Absolutely. It could be a perfect fit. And, you know, when you think of Pedro in the number 4 spot, go back to when they drafted him. They had this in mind way back then, that he was going to be a number 4 guy. He has that kind of power. He can hit the ball over the fence. He currently is a hot bat. It's no surprise that Clint Hurdle has penciled him in, and we might see him in there for a while.
James McDonald, you're going to see him in the rotation for a while. He's pitched very well this season.
He has not only a good fastball, but I think we're seeing more off-speed stuff from James to mix that in, the changeup, the curveball, and it seems to work for him. A lot of strikeouts the last 2 ball games for James McDonald.
J-Mac trying to lead the Pirates to victory over the Cincinnati Reds. Mike Leake will take the hill for the Redlegs. It's a fireworks night in Pittsburgh. The Pirates and the Reds getting ready to play ball in a moment.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Chevy Cruze, which offers you EPA estimated 42 mpg highway. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Welcome back, and it's good to see that man taking the field out the last couple of days with the flu bug. Andrew McCutcheon takes the field here at PNC Park. Let's check out Dusty Baker's lineup for Game 2 of this 3-game series. Zach Cozart leads things off. Drew Stubbs hits second. Joey Votto in the 3 spot. The cleanup man, Brandon Phillips. Jay Bruce in right. Scott Rowland hits 6th. Ryan Ludwig is in left field tonight. Chris Heisey and he have been platooning in left. And Devin Mesoraco, the Punxsutawney native, does the catching with Mike Leake on the hill.
James McDonald making his 6th start of the season, his 6th career start against the Cincinnati Reds, and so far so good against the Cincinnati Reds. 3-1 in the previous 5 for James McDonald.
Ball 1.
Numbers for James McDonald, brought to you by your Western PA Chevy dealers. Good numbers all around for James. One thing you look for James McDonald, you know the stuff is good. It's above average control. When he pitches out in front, he can dominate a ball game, as he did earlier in the year, taking a no-hitter into the 7th inning.
2-1. Cozart hit his 2nd home run of the season last night. He and Drew Stubbs went back-to-back against Kevin Correa. High fastball chases, 2-2.
Upstairs, but hey, when they chase it, stay up there. They ain't broke.
Fouls that one back. 93 on the gun. J-Mac has struck out a combined 18 hitters over his last 2 starts. He's got the strikeout pitch going after whiffing 6 batters in his first 3 starts.
Let's see if he comes downstairs. His breaking ball has been quite effective this year. Well, right there, didn't need to. Right down Grand Street, like you're running in a marathon. I don't know what Mr. Cozart was thinking, but he wasn't thinking fastball in that good hitting zone. That was right there. Yeah, I was thinking along the lines of a breaking ball. Maybe he was too. Good start for James.
James McDonald has a 2.08 ERA in his first couple of home starts this season. Drew Stubbs last night 2 for 4. Mentioned his home run. There's a good breaking ball.
Yeah, we're seeing James lean on a breaking ball. Not lean on it. He's got such a good fastball. He has nothing to be ashamed of with that pitch. But some off-speed stuff, curveballs.
Yeah, he's doing it a good number, Steve, basically with those 2 pitches. If he finds that changeup and has confidence in that, then
that's a great
sky's
tool.
The limit for him.
The more pitches you can throw effectively for strikes, I mean, it just helps your cause.
All fouled out of play.
The reason I bring up the breaking ball is that the more baseball people I talk to, the more I'm hearing that major league hitters as a rule are having such a difficult time, not just this year, but for several years, hitting breaking balls. They just live on the fastball, and you're seeing more guys retired on breaking balls and batters chasing bad breaking balls.
Whoa, that's a nasty one there.
How do you like James so far? Old McDonald had an arm. E-I-E-I, you're out.
E-I-E-I 0 for 2 so far for the Reds.
E-I-O, whatever it is.
So a couple of punch outs, and Joey Votto comes to the plate. Votto 0 for 3, walked twice last night, hitting .282. Shift is on. Point that out as the Pirates, like other clubs, will favor the heavy right side against Votto, and they move the third baseman Alvarez into shallow right. You see him there in your picture. So there's no third baseman. That's it in the infield. Ball to strike. Two and one. Reds Beat Pittsburgh 6-1 last night.
Lively arm, fastball. That finish they talk about, that hard to explain finish, but that had a lot of jump to it. Let's just sweep him aside here in the first, James.
Oh, broke his bat roller. Barmes the backhand, a long throw, and will not get him.
Well, people are going to say, well, they shifted and he beat the shift. Well, I don't know if they're going to make that play anyway, because Pedro is not going to be able to get over there. Barmes is probably going to get the ball pretty much in the same spot. That's going to be wide with the third baseman, and that's probably still going to be an infield hit for Joey Votto. He doesn't get many, but he got that one. So don't come whining about the shift.
Brings up Brandon Phillips. 1 for 5 with an RBI last night.
How many games do you see 2 second basemen hitting in the cleanup spot last night? Yeah, that's unusual, and of course different tonight with Pedro, but 2 guys that are second baseman hitting cleanup.
Walker was last year most of the time hitting cleanup. This year that changes, at least for now, tonight. Dan Uggla, of course, a second baseman who hits cleanup. Handful of second basemen in the National League that hit in that position. Two-0 on Phillips. Phillips starting to feel a little bit better. He's been slowed recently. Left hamstring soreness caused him to miss 5 starts last month. Hitting .232 in a couple of weeks since he's been back. 2 for his last 17. Brandon Phillips, 2-0 count.
Oh boy, they love that 2-0 fastball, don't they? Big time swing.
I mentioned the good numbers for J-Mac, his first 2 home starts this season. He's 9-3 with an earned run average just over 3 in his 27 career games here at PNC Park. The former Dodger.
Close, but no call for James. Just missing that outside corner.
Ron Kolpa called it outside.
And so it shall stand. Keep an eye on Joey Votto. He doesn't run all that much, but doesn't go here either. Doesn't need to.
A couple of strikeouts, an infield hit and a walk. Brings up Jay Bruce. The rest of the Pirates defensively. We mentioned McCutchen back out there. Jose Tabata playing left field with Garrett Jones in the lineup, and Jones playing right because Casey McGee is also in the lineup at first. Neil Walker at second, Barmes, Alvarez on the left side, and Rod Barajas. So he's back patrolling center field. Nate McLeod was in there the previous couple of games. McCutchen still not 100%.
Still reassuring from everybody's standpoint, especially a starting pitcher's standpoint, to see him out there.
Jay Bruce homered for the 8th time last night. He's now second in the league behind Matt Kemp of the Dodgers, who has a dozen. Off speed, 0-1.
Starts him off soft as Jay Bruce looking for the fastball. James has given up just 2 home runs first 5 starts.
You compare his first 5 starts this season to last year, there really is no comparison. Now, he got off to a slow start last year, wasn't completely healthy out of spring training. Did he go? On the appeal, that's Alan Porter. 1-1.
We've met 2 of the umpires. Darryl Cousins, the crew chief, is at second. And Jim Wolf at first.
He wasn't there initially. Guy's done a half circle, gets there in time, and they get Bruce. Half inning, Reds nothing. Pirates coming to bat. Against Mike Leake, and we'll check out Clint Hurdle's starting lineup. It is brought to you by Toyota moving forward. It's Tabata, Walker, McCutcheon, and for the first time this season, Pedro Alvarez hits cleanup. Casey McGee follows, then Garrett Jones. Bottom third of the order, Clint Varmus, Rod Barajas, James McDonald.
Mike Leake, the young man that came out of school and went right to the big leagues after a little short time in the instructional league. Struggling this year, 0-3. 6.65 ERA, was victimized by some bad defense last time out, but the 2 starts before that, total of 12 innings, 10 earned runs. So it has been a struggle for this young man who was 8-4 in his first major league season with no time in the minors officially. It was 2 years ago. Last year, 12-game winner for Mike.
Ball and a strike. Made 3 starts against the Pirates last year. 1-1, lost 1, had a no decision. Two and 1 on Tabata, 0 for 4 last night. Still, he's hit safely in 8 of his last 10. A 2-2 count. 4 for 9 against Leake in previous matchups.
Leake out of Arizona State. He works against Jose Tabata.
Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. He's walked 5 in 22 innings with 9 strikeouts. He's given up a couple of homers. Opposition batting .326 against Leake. And ball 4. Good start.
Worked him.
So with the runner on, we'll check out the Reds defensively. And Drew Stubbs, speedy center fielder. Jay Bruce in right. Ryan Ludwig spent some time with the Pirates last year is in left. Scott Rowland, Joey Votto on the corners. Good glove men there. Brandon Phillips, Gold Glover at second. Zach Posard solid at short, and Devin Mesoraco behind the plate. Scott Rowland, 8-time winner of the Gold Glove.
And that has to be a little discouraging for Mike Leake because he has struggled. Now he walks a leadoff guy. You want to get off to a positive start. This will help.
6, 4, 3. Double play hit by Walker, batting in the second spot of the order.
This looked like 2 from the time it left the bat. Downstairs, gets the ground ball and saw it off the Range Resources grid.
McCutchen hitting .297. No homers, 7 runs batted in. Still looking for that first dinger. Day Automotive presents this key matchup. Andrew McCutchen, 5 for 16 home run in his career against Leake. 389 on base, 500 slugging. We'll keep an eye on this matchup throughout the game. Thanks to Day Automotive, we're going to make your day. Two and one. And now a 3-1 count. And a walk to him. And Alvarez to the plate.
A tip of the cap to Andrew McCutchen, who has been under the weather but had made a commitment to come out to the PNC Hampton branch out on Route 8, and he showed up as advertised. It was appreciated for all those people who worked hard to set all that up, and he had a great time with Andrew. And a lot of good fans, a lot of good McCutchen fans, a lot of good Pittsburgh Pirate fans. Thanks, Andrew, for coming through, following through.
And now Alvarez hit cleanup for 10 games his rookie year. John Russell had him in that cleanup spot 10 times in 2010. But this is a pretty important day for him and for the Pirates, and a decision that didn't come lightly. Clint Hurdle said no specific reason why it was tonight, but he has really liked what he has seen over the past several games. Time was right. He talked to Neil Huntington about the decision. That's how important this decision is. Couldn't hold up. 0-1.
Yeah, you look for guys that are possible, nothing guaranteed, no sure things. Possible cornerstones to a ball club. And sometimes you look at a number 4 cleanup hitter that can just break games apart, break them wide open. Pedro Alvarez could be that kind of player. Will he be? Hey, stay tuned. But he's got a chance to be. Not everybody has a chance to be.
In on him, and it's 0-2. Alvarez a 7-game hitting streak. And Hurdle believes that Alvarez will not change his approach because he's hitting cleanup. That's important to note also. But as he said, giving him ownership of the opportunity.
You look at a guy who's got a hot bat, can hit home runs. He's cut his swing down a little bit. I think that's why he's making better contact, fouling off balls, and keeping an at bat alive instead of swinging through him.
In the dirt. Last night, 1 for 3, sacrifice fly, driving in the only run for the Bucks, and that gives Pedro Alvarez now 15 RBIs, along with those 7 home runs, tied for 3rd most in the National League.
A very young career so far for Mike Leake, but in his approximately 50 major league starts, he almost averaged a home run per start. So we're still learning that part of his craft.
Gave up 23 last year in 168 innings.
Covering 26 starts, I believe, something like that.
2-2 now. The count starts to favor Alvarez. It's 2-2 now. Look at the career numbers for Mike Leake. Steve mentioned right out of college to the big leagues.
Very select club.
21st player since the draft began in 1965 to play in the majors without appearing in a minor league game. The first since Xavier Nady in 2000. He went to the Padres right away. 2-2, 2 outs. And stays 2-2 on Alvarez.
Pedro's beating himself up with those foul balls. Second one, he's bounced off his foot.
There's the book on Alvarez this at bat.
Yep, they don't want to let him extend his arms because he's got the kind of power where he can hit the ball a long way to the opposite field. So you try to take that extension away from him, tie him up so he doesn't have that full swing where he's got everything stretched out and extended. Tightens him up, gets the hands in close to the body, takes some of the power away.
There goes McCutcheon, and it's grounded to Brandon Phillips. Retiring the side. Through 1 at PNC Park. Pirates and Reds are scoreless. A couple of strikeouts to start the game, then the infield hit the walk, got Bruce to ground out. Now it's Roland, Ludwig, and Mesoraco. Scott Roland last night 1 for 4. Mentioned at the top of the first about the difference this year as opposed to last year through 5 starts for James McDonald. A .297 ERA. Last year at this time his earned run average was .766. He had thrown just under 25 innings, walking 16. And Steve talked about that good control for McDonald, much better this year. In just under 31 innings he's walked 9 unintentionally.
And still tough to catch up to when he throws that 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. And what is yet another sensational evening for early summer baseball. Just gorgeous here tonight.
Another strikeout. Speaking of the good work we're talking about with James McDonald, Dan Potash has more.
All right, Brownie, thank you very much. You know, earlier you guys were talking about how batters in baseball today are having more and more problems with off-speed pitches. Well, earlier I asked Ray Searage if J-Mac's slider is the biggest reason for his strong start.
Well, the biggest thing, he's been using his curveball more also. And the curveball is early in the count and the slider is late in the count. So both of them have been complementing each other, and he's had a real nice groove with it. So he's able to throw it in any time of the count.
I also asked Ray if he expects James to go at least 7 innings for the 3rd time in 3 starts. He told me, yeah, because the Pirates expect all their starters to go at least 7 innings as far as a quality starter is concerned. In baseball, I think the average is, or at least the norm is, around 6 innings, guys.
Yeah, I like that thinking, Danny. I really do. 7 innings, I like it for your starter. And I like the fact that you have 2 breaking balls, 2 different breaking balls to work with. Curveball, slower, kind of off-speed pitch. Slider, a little less break, a little more speed. 2 different looks. That's a great package. Atlanta, last time up, 7 2/3, taking it into the 8th inning, deep into the 8th inning. 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. Liking that. Liking James so far tonight.
Strikes out Ludwig. 4 Ks the first 7 batters for McDonald.
It's almost like Bedard stuff. When you throw it 93, 92 miles an hour, that good finish, and throw it upstairs, and you got a couple breaking balls downstairs, you've got a lot of things for batters to look at and be challenged with.
Here is a Devin Mesoraco. This is his 10th start of the season. Drives this ball deep. Back McCutcheon. Nearing the wall. And there. Go behind the scenes with your buccos on Inside Pirates Baseball. See which Pittsburgh sports great reached out to manager Clint Hurdle. See our AGH plays of the week and much more inside Pirates Baseball tomorrow, 12:30, here on Root Sports. Casey McGee in the starting lineup tonight against Mike Leake. Shot to short. Cozart handles it.
That's a good play. That ball wanted to eat him up. Second ball that's been sharply hit right at infielders for the Reds. Alvarez tattooed the ball right at Phillips, and now Casey McGee can't hit it much harder than that, and just almost takes Cozart into left field, but he hangs in there and makes the play.
AGH cam with a nice look and the play made by Cozart. So hard hit, but retired. Now Garrett Jones. Jones had a hit last night and 3 at bats. It was a double to left center in the 7th. He's hit safely in 7 of his last 8. Broke his bat there on the ground ball to Votto. So it's 2 up and 2 down. Clint Barmas will come to the plate. Bucks host the Houston Astros Friday, 7:05, free shirt Friday. All fans get a Pirates t-shirt courtesy of Root Sports. For tickets or to see all of the free Shirt Friday designs this season, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. And by the way, next Friday, former teammate of Steve's, Jackie Hernandez, will be a celebrity bartender in the Hall of Fame Club starting in the 7th inning next Friday.
Jacinto Hernandez. Good guy. Really seems to get along with Jackie.
And now current Pirate shortstop Clint Barmas. 0-2.
Part of that famous quote from Earl Weaver: "You can't win the World Series with Jackie Hernandez at shortstop."
Oh, really, Earl?
Oh, really?
Slowly hit. Cozart comes in. And on to first. And 1, 2, 3. 3 ground ball outs on 6 pitches. The Bucks retired. 0-0.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. By PNC Bank for the achiever in you. And by your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. Let's go, Buck!
0-0 as we go to the 3rd. Mike Leake, the pitcher, leads off. And takes a strike.
You don't take him for granted. He's done a good job with the bat since getting up to the big leagues quickly.
Career .262 hitter.
Just 24 years old, out of Arizona State, San Diego, California native. He's not the biggest guy in the world. What, 5'11", about 180 pounds.
Ball and 2 strikes to Mike Leake. Got some unwanted national attention last year when the Pirates were actually in Cincinnati in April. He was arrested for shoplifting in a downtown Macy's in Cincinnati. He was accused of stealing 6 t-shirts that were worth a total of $59.88. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, unauthorized use of property. Agreed to 30 hours of community service.
Let's see, what's the major league minimum salary now? A little over, well, almost 500,000.
Still 1-2 on Leake.
Ron Culpa, part of this transaction. That's a double dip. Got part of Barajas and the home plate umpire. With the breaking ball.
Shows you he's not an automatic out.
Well, you want your mound opponent to lead off an inning. Usually that's a comparatively easy out, but it doesn't happen that way all the time. If you get them, then you go up to the top of the order with one out in your pocket. So James going to have to earn it.
Got him.
Yep, you get that slider out far enough. You heard Ray Searage talking about the curveball early in the count. Maybe get you looking and thinking a different speed. Then you come back with a slider. That's a pitch that comes in faster. Off the outside corner, gets the K.
And tonight's Barrel Automotive League leader stat, we look at the team ERA at home in the National League. Giants 2.25, Pirates right behind them. And the Dodgers, Nats, and Astros. Barrel Automotive definitely worth the click. Top of the order, Cozart struck out looking in the first.
So James, one time through the batting order, 5 strikeouts.
The way things are going, Steve, we talked a few days ago about keeping an eye on team strikeout totals for pitching staffs. The Pirates have, for a number of years, been at the bottom in terms of striking out batters. But now with McDonald, with Bedard, and with Burnett,
that's going to change.
It's going to be an interesting comparison.
That is going to change.
Two and two on Cozart.
I'm talking about those Houston Astros earlier. How about a grand slam by Houston in the bottom of the first inning by Chris Johnson against the mighty Cardinals? Early 4-1 lead for the Stros.
Cardinals 2.5 up on Cincinnati in the division. Houston and Milwaukee 4 back. The Pirates 5 behind. The Cubs fell to the Dodgers 5-1 the final. Cubs started the day 6 back. Cozart drives one deep to center. Back McCutchen. Man, almost runs out of room, but hangs with it. Bangs up against the wall.
Well, James got him popping up. Mizurako almost took the ball out of here, and now Cozart tried to go back-to-back nights. He homered last night and gives it a big ride, but to the biggest part of the ballpark, or one of the biggest parts. Andrew McCutchen's never been afraid of the wall.
Nice play. Drawing applause from the pitcher. And now Stubbs. He struck out looking in the first.
I'll tell you, every pitcher loves the fact that an outfielder, even though he might not make the catch, it might be off the wall or something, that you go back and you don't back off. I mean, you just have that deep respect for a guy who gives up the body or doesn't quit just because he feels the dirt under his spikes. And some outfielders will get to the warning track and they'll get a little cautious and jump and kind of maybe pull up on balls that may or may not be able to be caught, but Andrew doesn't.
Oh, James McDonald has struck out 6 through 3 innings. What a start for J-Mac. Kids Club presented by #1 Cochrane. Membership in the club gets kids 14 and under a variety of perks all year long, including autograph sessions, complimentary tickets, and more. And there are 2 membership options, the exclusive Gold membership and the no-charge Silver membership. To join or to see the full list of membership benefits, go to pirates.com/buckaroos. James McDonald on deck has struck out 6 Reds. Rod Barajas leads off.
Let's see, he's worked 3 innings, so my math, that's averaging 2 an inning. That's pretty impressive stuff.
That's good math work right there.
And quick.
Barajas, a fly ball to center. Through Stubbs. Salik gets Barajas. And it's James McDonald. Salik had a great start as a rookie to his big league career, 2010. Started out 5-0. He finished 8-4. At 5-0, the first pitcher in Reds history to stay undefeated through his first 12 big league starts. He went 7-1 after starting out 5-0. It was the best start by a Reds rookie since Wayne Simpson started the 1970 season 13-1. Remember Wayne Simpson?
Oh yeah, sure do. He wound up playing a little bit in our organization about 4 or 5 years later. In fact, Wayne came through Charleston, AAA team of the Pirates at the time, 1974.
Down on strikes goes J-Mac. Were you and Teague down in Charleston recently?
We were with the Cobra, Dave Parker, Dave Augustine. Who else was down there? Gary Kolb.
Oh my goodness. Reunion of the old Charleston Charlies?
Yeah, and Watt Powell Park is no longer there. They've got a beautiful new ballpark.
The West Virginia Power play.
Yeah, yep. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. We had a great time, met a lot of nice fans, and it was fun. It was a lot more pleasant for me to go back there last week than 1974. Trust me.
Tabata lines one to right field, and he'll have extra bases. A 2-out double for Tabata, who walked in the first.
And that ball was smoked down into the corner. That wasn't a little flare. We see a lot of that from Jose Tabata. No problem if he keeps hitting the ball with good authority that direction. That's no problem. Problem for Bruce to get a handle on it, but no chance for advancement.
Here's Neil Walker. Announced to go a double play in the first. Walker made his major league debut against the Cincinnati Reds in 2009, a September call-up. And a high fly ball to deep right field. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. The real deal, Neil Walker, his first home run of the season, gives the Pirates a 2-0 lead.
And that ball was gone when it left the bat. All you had to do was take a look at Jay Bruce. He was looking at what row that ball would come down. About the middle part of that upper deck. No question whatsoever. Bucks on the board. Walker off the schneid. What a little 2-out magic for the Pirates on a Saturday night. Folks going to be looking that way, in that direction, after the ball game. Had a nice look during the ball game for some fireworks.
A 2-0 lead as Walker hits his first. That's a nice comeback there. You hit a double play ball in your first at bat.
Yeah, so you're
after
plus
the guy
2.
let off. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're plus minus.
That's right.
You know, so many great things about this game, but there's one of them. It's your first time up, you're bummed out, you're disappointed. Hit into double play after the leadoff walk.
He really cleaned it up.
Hutchin might have broken his bat on that pop foul.
And again, Andrew out at the PNC branch. They take a look at this fastball right up over the plate, and Neil didn't miss it.
Way up into the seats.
Yep. By the way, Helen, Eloise, and the whole staff up there in Hampton. What a nice group of folks. Had a great time with them.
Didn't want to, but did swing.
And on the hands, mentioned that Mike Leake will give up his share of home runs. But, again, that's, you know, you get stuffed into the major league atmosphere when you haven't had any minor league experience. I mean, it's hard to overstate that. He saw things he never saw at Arizona State, and that's a great baseball school. But it's a different program here.
Well, Steve, there's a reason why.
Yeah, there's a minor league system.
Yeah, well, Hutchin didn't want to, but did again. Swing and a miss, a pitch that was up and in. Neil Walker, it's his first home run of the season. A blast over the Clemente wall. 2-0 Pirates. Cincinnati Reds. How about the Indianapolis Indians player of the month, the Pirates' top farm club, and lefty Rudy Owens.
Yeah, but you know, it's interesting. 4 starts, just 1 win. You think we're struggling offensively? With a little help.
How about this, though? 1 walk in 26 innings. How about that?
And if you touch my telestrator again, I'm going to have to kill you.
I didn't know it was yours. I said to Bob last night, I wondered if you
I've never
were
reached
aware
across
it was
in front of you and touched your computer. Never, ever. I've never done it.
I wondered if you and Bob realized that you had a toy there and you weren't playing it.
I have something special for the telestrator in July. Just stay tuned.
You do? For July? We have to wait that long?
Well, you don't want to really mess with the telestrator unless you have something significant.
Wow. July.
I could reach across
That's
your
fine.
computer.
I don't mind. If it helps the telecast, I say go for it. I've said that for years. Really, seriously, if you want to reach across, that's right. It's yours. I bring all this stuff, my bag of toys, for you guys. Bela Hay, as you like to call it.
I do like to call it that. It's appreciated. It really is. I lost my head there.
2-2 on Votto, who reached on an infield hit in the first. Phillips to follow, then Bruce. 6 strikeouts for J-Mac. That infield hit was just a roller toward the left side. Pitch that was in on Votto, and now the count to 3-2. Quite a player here.
Yep.
2010 MVP. They rewarded him first week in April. 10-year deal worth $225 million. And he goes to left, and he doesn't realize that's a fair ball.
But it bounced into the stands. He's got himself.
How about that? He's going to
deal.
end up with a double anyway. Isn't that something?
You will not see that again. He's got to smile at some point, doesn't he? He slices the ball right on the chalk, but he turns his back. He just assumed. Oh, wait a minute.
That's unbelievable.
That will be on every blooper.
Look at that. Shades of Sean Casey. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In Detroit a few years ago, where he did the exact same thing. The difference was he never, by the time he took off for first base, the ball was headed toward first base from the left fielder, and he was thrown out by a half a step.
That's wild.
Turns out to be a bad break for the Pirates. That ball went into the seats because Votto, no way would he have gone to second.
He's been on first at best.
How about that?
The interesting thing was not just decided it was going to slice foul looking at it, but turned his back.
Yeah.
There had to be some screaming from the Reds bench, and he will hear about that from his teammates.
Look at that reaction right there, Steve. You just see him. Wow. Talking to the third base coach, Mark Berry.
And you'd think somebody be smiling, but you know he's probably so embarrassed. Pirates are going to play back.
Jay Bruce at the plate.
You can see the run. I've seen guys just make a bad decision and stand there looking at it, but never have I seen anybody turn their back. Okay, J Mac, now you've got a chance, and you've got several pitches to work with to leave Votto at third base, looking for that strikeout number 7 here. You can work your program. And this is a strikeout candidate. This would be huge.
This will get a run in. Maybe. Nice play. Oh, a double play! How about that play? Casey McGee to Rod Barajas.
Boy, he had everything in front of him. Just take the steps across across first base and gun it back to home plate. And a tough base running inning for Joey Votto. Here's McGee. He's got it right there. He's got everything working and threw it off balance. And the Pirates get a call.
Oh. about that wild ride for Joey Votto?
Tough at bat and trip around the base paths.
Alvarez, a fly ball to left over nearing the line. Ludwig, long run for him, and he gets there.
Well, kind of a bizarre half inning. Joey Votto's now at third base. The ball is hit, doesn't get the quickest break, and he doesn't have the greatest speed. And that winds up costing him. Apparently, he got that right foot around Barajas, but didn't get the call at home plate.
Nicely done by McGee, too, Steve.
Yeah, because he had to throw off balance, and there you see him having room to get that right foot around, but Barajas applied the tag, and Ron Culpa said, "You're out." Tough half inning for Joey.
He's rolling way back there at third, but Roland will not be deceived. Joey Votto, the ball he thought was fouled into the seats, didn't realize it had landed in fair territory down the left field line. He gets the break because it bounced into the seats. Otherwise, he would have been at first.
Thoroughly embarrassed. A little bit less than he was when he got to second. A little bit less.
So the Pirates' lead is still 2-0.
4 zeros now thrown up on the board for James McDonald.
Still 1-2 on McGee, making his 11th start at first base. He's made a couple at third.
That was well done because of the footwork that he had to use. He just didn't have time to set himself. Had to come across there and throw off balance.
The more you watch him play first base, the more you wonder why we were so concerned about his defensive play at first. He's been more than fine over there.
Yep.
Glove.
Just missing off that outside corner. Mike Leake will get up around 90 miles an hour. Every once in a while he'll hit 91 or 92, not known as a power pitcher. And misses with that slider.
It is time for our trivia question. Brought to you by AT&T Mobility. Last night, Johnny Cueto threw his 5th complete game. Who holds the Reds record for most career complete games? Take a stab at it, Steve.
Yeah, well, they've been around too long.
Yeah.
You know, names like Jim Maloney come to mind. Let's see.
You have to figure it's going to be somebody way back,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
early 1900s, maybe.
Yeah, before 1920, probably, because they got the ball and they pitched till the game was over.
Fly ball to left. Clint Barmas comes to the plate now. He grounded out in the second. A couple of fly balls to left.
Can we get any hint from the truck as to?
It's later than the 20s, I'm hearing.
Later than the 20s.
The Gypsies, and earlier than the 50s.
Yeah, that's only 30 years. Can we get one more clue? Can you just spell his last name for us, and we'll go from there.
If you could do that, then it would really be a big help. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, just the first 4 letters of his last name.
They give us nothing. 0-1 and 0-2.
Well, we have determined it was one of the 2 teams that were featured in last night's trivia question, or from that town.
There's a Punxsutawney native right there, Devin Mesoraco with a block. Ball and 2 strikes on Clint Barmas. He's gone 4 for 9 last 3 ball games, at least coming into this one, driving in 3. He has 14 hits. 9 of them have gone for extra bases.
The last homestand, a couple doubles and a home run in one of those games.
2 home runs on the season, and he, leaning a bit, gets back standing. Two and 2. We sent along a happy birthday wish to Carol Calloway. Her son Kenneth does great work here at PNC Park. You get a chance to see Kenneth every day. He says, let's raise that Jolly Roger. Happy birthday, Carol. Runner goes on the 2-2. Hart's play is to first. Barmas is retired. On to the 5th inning at PNC Park. 2-0 Pittsburgh. And it's time to answer tonight's trivia question from AT&T Mobility. We said that last night Johnny Cueto threw his 5th complete game. Who holds the Reds record for most career complete games? Steve, have a guess?
Johnny Vandermeer.
Answer is Bucky Walters. 195 complete games in his 11 years in Cincy, 1938 to 1948, averaging 18 per year. Scott Rowland takes a strike. You seem disappointed that it wasn't Johnny Vandermeer.
Yeah, I was. I'll be ready for that next trivia question that involves the Pirates, so I'll be ready.
0-2 on Rowland. Struck out his first time. 6 Ks through 3 for McDonald. Gave up the double in the 4th inning to Votto. And got Phillips to bounce out, and that double play ended it.
You love to contain that leadoff double and don't let him score. It's always a shot in the arm. In fact, it kind of gives you a majestic feeling every once in a while.
A majestic feeling. 2-2. Unbelievable timing that Steve has.
I was on the phone with him between innings. Nobody on that boat, by the way, knows the answer to that trivia question. Except that guy.
Still 2-2.
I think we've all made many a trip on various craft of the Gateway Clipper fleet. Good times, well done. It's a part of our city. Boats up and down the river.
Never get tired of these sights.
Looks like it's on that walkway on the boardwalk and back of the stands. No walks, James. Didn't work.
Well, if you're hitting the road, you can take the Pirates with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv and see every Pirates out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Pirates.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Here's Ryan Ludwig. Leadoff walk. Ludwig, a strikeout victim his first time up. He and Derek Lee were acquired late last summer. Deadline deals. Try and boost the offense. Hit .232 in 38 games with the Pirates. A couple of homers, drove in 11. And a strike 0-2. Ludwig had his best years in St. Louis. Drove in 113 in 2008, 97 the following year.
This is when James is at his best. Out in front, 0-2 in the count.
Blocked by Barajas, it's 1-2.
And it's always a challenge too as a starting pitcher to finish at bats off. You get out in front 0-2. Sometimes it can't be avoided. You'll get to 3-2. Sometimes you lose a guy after being out in front 0-2, but that gives you the opportunity to just put a cap on in the bat. You've got such an advantage, and sometimes you just wind up trying to be too perfect, and then you wind up even in the count, and they see a lot of pitches.
Grounded to short. Nice play by Barmes. Quick flip and a double play. Pretty stuff.
Well done, Clint. That's the way you can be effective. You not only can knock in runs, you can save runs. Defensive RBIs, if you want to call them that. Terrific play. Backhand flip to Neal. After that, it was easy. So 2 rather impressive double plays turned by the Pirates in the last 2 innings. That's nice.
That's a great point, Steve, that you make about Barmes, who just is struggling mightily, and he beats himself up at the plate because he's hitting under 200. He wants to do things offensively, but he already has contributed, despite a high error count, certainly higher than he's used to seeing early in the season, but he'll make plays like that, clean things up.
Sounds funny, a defensive RBI. Yeah. You can almost phrase it that way.
Nice combo there. Blue collar guys. Barmes and Walker up the middle. 1-1 on Mesoraco, who sent McCutchen back to the wall in the second.
It's one of the things the statisticians go back to and look at defensive players and what they bring to the game, both as a defensive player, offensive player. Like Bill James, I think, did some stats on Maz. How many runs he knocked in, but how many he saved. How many he eliminated. He wouldn't let them come around because of his defensive play. How many runs he prevented is the word I'm looking for.
Good pitch there. 2-2. And that spike slider. Breaking ball they're talking about.
Well, that's almost an unhittable pitch. Down and away, just keeps moving away from the strike zone and just follows it with another one. It's a great 1-2 punch right there.
He's got 7 strikeouts.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Levin Furniture. For the best deal on Tempur-Pedic mattresses, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
And on Cinco de Mayo, the Pirates lead 2-0 over the Reds. Now Barajas of Mexican descent takes ball one.
Now,
some folks dress for the occasion.
Yeah, there you go.
Nick Leyva another. Jeff Carstens. 2-0 now on Rod Barajas, who flied to center field in the third.
All right, let's all get together now. Whoever thinks we should get James McDonald some more breathing room, raise your hand.
Ball fouled off.
I see a lot of people raising their hands now.
2-1. Time is called. Mike Leake talking to Mesoraco.
Greg was one of the ones, many people raising their hand. If we took a poll to see how many people think we should get James McDonald some breathing room.
Absolutely. Yep. Folks there in Pops Plaza wanted the same. A lot of people raising their hands.
You want more runs for James, we're just going to have to all get together. Let's see. We're in. We're all in.
Raise your hand. You?
Yeah.
Your hands up.
Everybody.
Fly ball hit well to center. Stubbs is over.
And he can go get the ball. Stubbs runs it down on the warning track, big part of the ballpark. We've had some warning track action tonight.
Barajas has hit a couple of fly balls that way, and McCutcheon's had to track a pair down toward the wall. James McDonald shows bunt, takes ball one. 2 for 9 at the plate this season. Came in an .086 career hitter. Backhand play by Brandon Phillips. 2 outs. Go behind the scenes of a Pirates broadcast during Root Sports All Access Night. Hear your buccos mic'd up on the field. Clint Hurdle on a headset with us during the game. And go inside our TV truck, where our director will be mic'd for an exclusive web feature, All Access Night, when the Pirates take on the Nationals this Wednesday, 6:30 on Root Sports. And they'll...
No secrets. This is full disclosure.
Now, are you on that night? You know?
I don't know.
Handy dandy schedule here.
I don't know.
Do you have a schedule? Where's the schedule? Anybody have a schedule?
We have a schedule. Get the schedule.
Schedule. Yeah.
Raise your hand if you want a schedule.
Gotta find the schedule.
There's one up on the wall, but now we
can't see that.
We got the curtain around us.
We'll find out whether we're on or not. Who's on?
First. I don't know. Third base.
Bouncing ball to third. Short hop play. And the Bucks go down quickly in the 5th. 2-0 Pittsburgh.
Get the schedule. Get the schedule. Schedules.
I can't find it. apiece. James McDonald has struck out 7. And Mike Leake will lead things off. Look at the rotunda, the top of the rotunda in left. Very efficient.
And very good. Really nothing Dusty Baker can do about thinking about getting Mike Leake out of there. Of course, only the 5th inning, but he's made one really bad mistake. Other than that, he's pitched very well.
And fouled off. It's 0-2.
From 0 to 10, what do you think the chances are of James getting his 8th strikeout right here? This at bat.
0 to 10. 7.
9.6.
Okay. Dusty Baker's resume there. 19th year. 79 and 83 last season after winning the division the previous year with the Reds. We'll see one of the big additions tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon. Matt Latos. And a base hit on an 0-2 pitch.
That hurts.
And now check out the Coors Light freeze cam. Ball hit deep by Zach Cozart in the 3rd, and Andrew McCutchen back to make the catch. Coors Light freeze cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
How about the way that glove just contains the ball? I mean, that ball is not going anywhere. It's a big glove. It gets into the deep part of that pocket. It's a hinge. Everything closes around the baseball. It's not going to leave, and that's why guys are able to make those plays now that maybe, what, 15, 20 years ago they might have bounced out of the glove. Well, these are hinged, and well, that's a guys that used to go out and do some trapping. You know what that feels like.
0-1 on Cozart after the pitcher singles on an 0-2 pitch, and now he's ahead of Cozart. 0-2. So, Steve, was that 0-2 pitch too good?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely too good. And it's frustrating, but I'm glad to see James come right back, because that can get in a pitcher's craw. You hate to do that. But you've got to let it go, because you can't do anything about it. It's gone. Can't bring it back.
So he comes back there with a fastball to Cozart, who struck out looking in the 1st and hit that ball to deep center field his last time. See what McDonald and Barajas decide to do here with the pitcher at first base.
Yeah, this is a big inning for James. He's been sensational.
Bouncing ball right there is Barnes for the double play.
How easy was that? Does that clean up the program? 3rd double play in the last 3 innings. Every pitcher's best friend. Custom made. I'm going to hit a bouncer over the pitcher's head. Going up through the middle? No, that's not going through anything. He only gets him by, what, 15, 20 feet. That was so perfect for Clint.
Beautiful stuff.
That is big. Because you're looking for James to take this thing. He's over the hump now. He's through the 5th inning. Now it's a matter of how deep he's going to go. And every play like that is going to extend his outing. That's terrific.
He's gotten Stubbs twice, looking in the 1st, swinging in the 3rd. He's definitely a strikeout candidate, is Drew Stubbs, who struck out 200 times last year. And with the Bowling with the Bucks coming up tomorrow night, the charity event that Chris Reesop and Joel Hanrahan will be co-hosting. I guess it's appropriate we talk about the turkey. Strikes in 3 straight frames.
That's a great thing in bowling, for sure.
That's what McDonald is hunting here on Stubbs. Reesop on your left, Hanrahan on your right. In the middle, Juan Cruz. Bowling with the Bucks. Legacy Lanes on Curry Road tomorrow, 6 to 9. Bowlers know what the turkey's all about. What about McDonald? Nope. A 2-2 pitch. Stubbs singles, and that brings up Votto,
who will pay attention to where this ball is going to go if he makes contact. This one just out of the reach of Clint. He's shaded over toward the hole a little bit, and that ball over a corner of the mound just can't get to it.
The shift on once again. Votto an infield single in the first and doubled in the fourth.
In addition to the 7 strikeouts, James has gotten some outs when he's needed to get them so far.
Upstairs
Late.
and in with a fastball.
Late.
Votto has struck out 26 times this season. Up and in with heat.
That is chin music. Sometimes that will have a definite effect on the aggression of the next swing.
Stubbs at first base mentioned the 26 punch outs for Votto. Stubbs has struck out 28 times to lead the Reds. He also has stolen 4 bases in 5 tries. Two and 1. 29 homers last year, drove in 103. After his 37 home run season of 2010, won the MVP, driving in 113. There goes the runner. In the air, deep to left. Back. And caught by Jose Tabata! What a play! In left.
And the Pittsburgh Pirates are showing you some serious glove work. Serious glove work. What a play by Jose.
Take a look at this.
You are the pitcher's best friend right as of this moment. James McDonald might want to take everybody out for free steak. And that's what you do as a pitcher when they pick you up like that.
There's Neil Walker, who gave McDonald and the Pirates the lead. His home run in the third.
So many times the guy that makes a great play has just finished up the previous inning.
That happens all the time. He made the last out the previous inning.
Yep.
Amazing how that works. Tabata getting the start in left field, making that play. Misses past Scott Rowland.
Let's open it up. Let's open it up.
Top of the Steve making his first start this season in left field. Familiar territory for him. He certainly hasn't forgotten how to play it.
And that ball doesn't have great height, so it wasn't like he could get that back there and measure it. He's on the move at the last second. At the last second, he's just throwing his hand up there and hoping he's got a beat on it at that point, because I don't think he saw the ball go into the glove. But James did. This is kind of interesting because in terms of pitch count, Leake has been more efficient just in the pure number. But James has put up zeros all night long, and Leake has given up the home run. Pirates are in a position perhaps they have one of those bust out innings. They're in a great spot in the batting order. That ball hit by Neil Walker, sharply hit. Scott Rowland will tell you he should have had that play. Just because he has that much pride and he's been that good. He's made that play a lot of times. He didn't make it tonight.
There goes Walker. And they'll have just one play. That's to first. Cozart to Votto. And it will bring up Pedro Alvarez. First base open, a right-hand hitter on deck. See how carefully they pitch to Alvarez. Alvarez grounded out sharply to the second baseman Phillips in the first inning. Last time he flied to left. Yes, says the home plate umpire. Oh, 0-1. And a ball and a strike on Alvarez. 7-game hitting streak for him. He's hit home runs in 3 of his last 5. Last 10 games batting .417 with 11 RBIs. Two and 1 the count now on Alvarez. Walker has 2 of the 3 hits off Mike Leake. Count now 3-1.
I think you're getting part of your answer right here. They're being very careful with Pedro.
Yeah, a check swing the first pitch. Otherwise, that would have been ball 4.
You see
a swing that he tried to check, I should say.
Mesoraco has been moving substantially outside just before each of the previous deliveries. See if he does the same thing, move away from Pedro. Stays in there, but
so they wanted really nothing to do with him. Four walks for Leake.
Which is pretty interesting considering the kind of comparatively low pitch count coming into this inning. He's starting to throw more. I mean, he stretched it out pitch-wise here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So he's at 76. McGee has grounded out and walked.
We got one of the Pirates their first home run of the year with Neil Walker. This wouldn't be a bad spot to get Casey involved.
Time called. Walker and Alvarez aboard for Casey McGee. 1 ball, 1 strike. Three ribbies for McGee. And that's outside.
Talk about somebody ready to catch the long ball.
Hit it here. There. McGee hitting .375 with men on base this season. Pops this one up, foul territory. And Votto says he's got it. He doesn't.
You know, he might be saying, and this is not a big point, but you know, when your guy's coming over there, get 3 or 4 guys there in case he has a tough bounce or goes in there. Look, they're all turning their back. Used to be automatic. You go out there in case your guy needs some help.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if Votto, whether he was serious or not, but it looked as though that's what he was saying to those guys.
Yeah,
how about some help?
Some body language to that effect.
2-2.
Opportunity for some Pirates to do some damage here.
Time called again.
Casey can catch a gap or down one of the corners.
They've started to loosen Jose Arredondo. Big cut from McGee. It's fouled off and still 2-2.
I think you were showing the relative bullpens, the strength of both the Pirates bullpen and the Reds bullpen. Impressive numbers on the 5th of May.
McGee looks for a big hit here. Swing and a miss. Leake gets a big strikeout. That's his 3rd.
That is. Now he's got a chance to keep this ball game to 2-0 as the Pirates starting to make noise after the base hit and the walk.
Jones is grounded to first, fly to left. Bucko Nation. Takes ball 1.
We just get a theme from Mike Leake. He's trying to keep the ball outside, away from the left-handers, away from the right-handers. Lives on that outside part of the plate, and he will try to keep people honest every once in a while. There he is out there again.
2-0.
working both sides of the street.
Strike called as Jones thought that was inside. 2-1.
Yeah, what happens there? He's seen a couple pitches away. He's thinking away, so that ball comes in, and the first reaction is maybe to flinch back, thinking it's going to be too far inside. See Mesoraco framing that ball, trying to bring it back in. Sell the call.
2-2 on Jones.
And Garrett looking for a fastball, didn't get it, so at the last minute, and puts semi-weak swing on it. So some hitters will do. They're looking fastball, doesn't come. Oh, I got fooled, but maybe I can still do something late with it. And it's not a strong swing, but every once in a while you get lucky with it. You don't have much left except for the hands and the forearms. Got jammed there.
In the shallow right center. Stubbs makes the catch. Pirates strand a couple. Do not score. On to the 7th. Pittsburgh up 2-0. Welcome back. PNC Achievement. How about this for the 2005 Major League Draft? Look at the All-Stars. Justin Upton, Ryan Zimmerman, Ryan Braun, Ricky Romero, Troy Tulowitzki, McCutcheon, and Bruce. And the others, everybody on that list, the top 12, everybody made it to the big leagues except for Wade Townsend of the Devil Rays. Jeff Clement is playing in the minor leagues with the Pirates now, the former first-round pick of the Mariners. But that's an impressive draft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, 7 All-Stars?
It's about evaluating talent.
$11 and 12 picks in that first round right there. Knocked down by McDonald on a 1-0 pitch. Came in on Phillips. That's all he could do with it. 1 down in the 7th. This has to please Ray Searage and Clint Hurdle to no end what McDonald has done.
Well, you know, you take a look at his last 2 starts. 7 2/3 last time out against the Braves. Doubleheader. He started that game, gave up 1 hit in 7 innings, took that no-hitter in the 7th inning. So he has gone deep into games, counting this one 3 in a row. And boy, you love that. That just is a breath of fresh air. It really is. Cruz warming up just in case as And the old bugaboo pitch count starts coming into play.
McDonald will do up a third in the bottom half of the 7th inning. 2-0 count now on Jay Bruce. Line sharply to center. It will. Oh, misplayed by McCutcheon. And Bruce is going to get 3 out of this.
Just a matter how they're going to rule it, but he is at third base in a 2-0 ball game. And Andrew got caught in between here. That ball was hit so hard, it looked like even the line drive might carry far enough, and Andrew gets caught in between. And once again, the Reds have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs.
Give Bruce a triple. His first triple of the season. Barajas now out with James McDonald.
He got Rowan to strike out. He struck Rowan out in the 2nd inning and walked him last time up. So a lot of people like myself thinking about the possibility of another strikeout to get to a huge 2nd out and leave that runner still at third base. And you got a chance to wiggle out of it.
Infield back to concede a run. Roland with 9 RBIs.
And the Reds not out hitting the Pirates 5-3, but Bucks still ahead 2-0.
Ball and a strike on Roland.
You prepare as well as you can as a manager, and then you write the names down and watch them play. Overmatched. That fastball after the slider, something off speed. Just some late ball game heat displayed by James McDonald. Now he's in a situation where he's got 2 or 3 pitches to try to get this huge strikeout. That's what it would be. Goes back soft. 81 miles an hour after 93.
Because he was way late on that previous fastball, I wondered if they would go back to back.
Well, I mean, you've got choices when a guy looks bad, like he's late on that fastball. Yeah, you've got that option to go back upstairs, but also Scott Rowan's got power. He could tie the ball game up with with one swing. And you show him a different speed, different location.
And his fly ball is going to drop in left for a base hit, make it a 2-1 ball game on a 1-2 pitch.
And that's a veteran at bat by Scott Rowan. Breaking ball downstairs, and Rowan simply went down and got it. That ball might have been underneath the strike zone. Slider breaking ball of some type, and just served it into left field. And that's going to be it, as Clint Hurl's going to make a double switch.
McDonald around 100 pitches. Gives up that line triple past the center fielder. And we will have the double switch. Tell you about the changes. Yes, McDonald will exit with the lead, but responsible for Roland at first. Look at a very nice ovation as McDonald struck out 7. We'll be back. Paying homage to Little League Baseball during our June 10th telecast and looking for some local teams or stories to feature on the air. If you have a great Little League story or team that you'd like to say and pay tribute to on June the 10th, do that. Just visit rootsports.com to submit your info. The June 10th game, tribute to Little League Baseball. Get your great story in.
Yep, you see the theme of the night from that standpoint. The theme of the night early was James McDonald striking everybody out. He departs as Clint Hurdle makes the double switch. Top of the moves over from left to right. Presley comes in to play left field. Garrett Jones departs. There's Alex Presley. There's a top of the moves across the outfield. And Juan Cruz. Really can't ask much more than Cruz has delivered. He has worked in 11 ball games. He's not given up a run yet. Simple as that. And the rest is details.
Ryan Ludwig has struck out and hit into a double play.
McDonald can win it. He can't lose it. Could come away with a no decision. He is responsible for Scott Rowland at first base, who probably won't be heading anywhere in terms of a stolen base.
High fly ball to center fielder Andrew McCutchen. Cruz gets an out with one pitch.
Here comes Rowland
off for second base, and Rowland is going to be nailed at second. Wow.
Where is Scott going?
Wow. 8-6 on an inning-ending double play.
See Scott going back to first base, and he's got that intention. He's going to try to surprise Andrew, trying to get something going, but not even close.
Take me out to the ball game.
Watching at home on Root Sports as we sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
And they're gonna believe it when you hear it, when you see it, when you read it. The wins and the money stack, PNC getting packed, leave no doubt about it. At the box are us. Back on the scene, just doing clean. All fans of other clubs trying to claim a new team.
Welcome back. What a finish to the top of the 7th inning. This game far from finished as Clint Barmas leads off against Mike Leake. Pirates with just 3 hits. Watch this. Rowland maybe thinking that McCutchen certainly wasn't thinking he'd be going to second. McCutchen didn't expect it. Watch this. And then whoop.
Yep, Scott Rowland thinking maybe he could catch Andrew being careless, but Andrew was able to recover and make a throw that was in plenty of time.
Barmas down on strikes. That's 4 Ks for Leake. Shot there, the AGH cam showing in slow motion the strikeout.
I'll tell you, Greg, we have had 4 pretty unusual double plays turned by the Pirates, and not so much the conventional stuff.
Earlier had the 3-2 double play in the 4th inning where Rod Barajas tagged out Votto. Ground ball to short. Quickly 2 outs. Really loosens in the pen.
See the Act 1 of the proposed script. Really, then Hanrahan, if things stay the same.
Alex Presley now. His first at bat, part of that double switch. This is the pitcher's spot of the order. He was 0 for 4 last night. Cracks this one deep to right center field, and Alex Presley, oh, they're all shook up. Line drive home run for Presley. The Pirates lead 3-1.
And this time he gets a shorter trip, an easier, more comfortable trip than that inside the park home run. And that ball was tattooed over the Trib Total media sign, right center field. Nothing cheap about it. Little instant breathing room.
Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Bam! Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
That's what you call making an entrance.
And a ground out to end the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 Pirates.
Offense from Alex Presley. Right in the wheelhouse. And Elvis has left the building. That looked good.
Nice stab out there. Now the catcher's mitt.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Nice play, yeah.
Bring the mitt to the...
Fired up.
And not only the catcher's grip, looked like it's a camouflage. Catcher's mitt. So the Pirates have a little breathing room, and now Jason Grilli comes on. All he's done is strike out 18 in 10 innings. That's all.
Goes through his pre-inning routine there before he throws his first pitch. Paying tribute to his grandmother, who passed away several years ago. A close friend who passed away suddenly on the basketball court. High school friend in Syracuse, New York, and So inscribes JG, initials for his son Jace, and the sign of the cross. Grilly's first pitch to Mesoraco, a strike.
He has been a strikeout machine.
And to right field, it's Tabata playing it on the hop. Now it's paid attendance 33,019 on a fireworks night in Pittsburgh. Excellent crowd on hand.
They have seen some outstanding defensive plays, and they've seen a couple long balls hit by the Pirates.
And now Chris Heisey bats for Mike Leake,
who, in all honesty, deserve better as well.
Chris Heisey could tie it up with one swing. Be careful of this guy. Heisey still getting praised today for a great baseball play yesterday. 2 outs in the second inning. Scoreless game. Runner at third. Sees the third baseman back. And it's a fly ball to left. Not deep enough. That's Presley for the first out. Here's a look now at our Doing More on Defense, brought to you by the Home Depot. We have seen some outstanding defensive work, and this one was big. Casey McGee on the Jay Bruce ground ball. Tags first, Rose to the plate. Joey Votto nailed it home. Nice work from Casey McGee. Zach Cozart 0 for 3. Line drive just over the glove of Pedro Alvarez into the left field corner. A little stumble there by Presley, so they'll wave the runner home. And it's a one-run game. Mesoraco scores. Zach Cozart doubles down the line and left.
And there's a problem when that ball gets down into the corner. Runner taking off from first base. It's a long trip around. You see Mark Berry just recognize that problem down in the corner, sends him on around.
Appeal say that Mesoraco missed second. He did not, according to the second base umpire there, Darryl Cousins. Mark Berry talking to Nick Leyva about that play last night, Steve, where he sent was it Garrett Jones and then doubled down the line in left field by Barmas. The third base coach, you could see where Berry tried to straddle almost that line. You got to be a little bit careful where he goes, but third base coach is what you can't see
around that
down
corner.
The very corner.
Yep.
You can't see what's going on.
So where the stands jut out. They've got to get a better angle. It's tough for them to get the angle they want.
3 Stubbs at the plate. RBI double for Cozart. Now 2-0 count on Stubbs with Votto on deck. See, we can see that from that camera, but the third base coach cannot. What goes on in that corner? Two and one.
Late on that fastball.
This is interesting too, because now Hurdle gets lefty Tony Watson up. You've got Votto on deck, a left-hand hitter. And then a righty Phillips, and then a lefty Bruce.
Need to settle this down right now.
Time was called. Late time call.
Yeah, they let him do it these days.
Don't have to. Not all umpires do. There have been some who.
The minority.
Yeah, it is the minority. Ron Kolpa allowed the timeout to be called. 2-1 count. Pickoff try.
Timing pretty good, but those aren't able to get back in. You want to make sure he knows you're aware of him, so you don't have to get him out. Just let him know you might save a step by that runner.
Evens the count on Stubbs.
And now Jason Grilli needs to do what he does so well. Get the strikeout. Stop this thing right now. The Reds have closed to within 1.
Got him looking.
Locked him up. Nice fastball. That kind of fastball is not nice. That is strong. That's what he does.
Two outs, runner at second, and here is Joey Votto at the plate. What are they going to do here? Searage is going to go out. As we mentioned, the lefty Tony Watson loosening. We're going to stick with Grilli. Votto this season hitting .296 against lefties, .276 against righties. While we have a moment, a good friend of ours, in fact a former Pirate employee, worked at Westinghouse for a long time. Jim Meston's wife Marjorie passed away recently. We want to send along our thoughts and prayers to the Meston family.
Absolutely. Jim, such a good guy, a great presence around the city with the appearances he's made representing Westinghouse back in the day, and just doing a lot of good things for a lot of good people. We've enjoyed going out to some of his fundraisers, and he certainly has done his part of being part of the community.
So they're going to intentionally walk Votto. Searage went out there to talk to Grilli about this, and don't often see this late in a ball game where you put the go-ahead man aboard. Brandon Phillips will have an opportunity with 2 outs. Phillips is 1 for 4 in his career against Grilli. This makes some sense too, because we mentioned earlier that Phillips has been slow to get back to top form with that sore hamstring, and he says he's close. He has just 2 hits in his last 19 at bats, but he's a dangerous hitter. The Reds cleanup man, Brandon Phillips.
Screws have tightened. This whole situation gonna take a definitive turn one way or the other here. Alex Presley looking into the bench, making sure he's where they want him to be. Pretty much straight away and fairly deep.
Strike 1 on Phillips.
I'll tell you, Grilli throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball with as little effort as I've seen a right-hand pitcher throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. That sounds funny, but some guys labor with that and just overpower that delivery. He's kind of smooth, and that ball kind of jumps out of his hand.
0-1 count. 0-2. Steve, the other day in Atlanta, in the 8th inning, he struck out Dan Uggla, Jason Hayward, and David Ross as emphatically as we've seen a reliever in a long time. And Hurdle the next day said, when asked, Yeah, have you ever seen Grilli pitch as well as he did last night with as good as stuff? He said no. This is a guy that pitched for Hurdle in Colorado. Jason Grilli. His stuff appears to be getting better at the age of 35.
Reaching back. I saw the effort that time, almost trying to throw it a little harder. And that can happen when you just reach back and you're trying to get even more. And sometimes in that situation, more can be less. Tighten up a little bit and you don't have that jump on the ball.
Good fastball, that at times devastating breaking ball. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out! It's grilled cheese time! He struck out Brandon Phillips with cheese. 2 men left on.
He's liking it. About 33,000 people liking it.
Go to the bottom of the 8th. Bucks up by 1.
For the Reds in the bottom of the 8th inning, it is tightened up. 3-2 Pirates lead. Redondo, native of the Dominican Republic, had a good year with the Angels 3 or 4 years ago. 10-2 out of the Angels bullpen, and has been very good this year. 11 innings, 12 strikeouts, only 6 hits given up, but he's walked 7.
Ball 1 on Neil Walker. 2-run homer in the 3rd, his first of the season. Gave the Pirates a 2-0 lead. Singled past Scott Rowland in the 6th. What a shot that is.
Yep. Super moon on the way. I think the official full super moon is tomorrow night.
Right by the Steel Building.
Looks like a werewolf should jump out of there. There'll be strange happenings tonight.
Wow.
Not sure what that was, and I'm not sure if Jose knows what that was.
Let's send it down to Dan Potash.
Mr. Blass, I must correct you, fine sir.
Huh. Won't be the first time.
Super moon is tonight at 11:35. In fact, the moon right now will reach its closest point to the Earth in its elliptical pattern. Yes, I knew that because I'm a big astronomy buff. Not.
Okay.
Just read it online. But it's tonight, not tomorrow.
We'll have somebody clean the lens then. Get this thing cleaned up. All right, Dan, we got it down. Super moon tonight.
Tonight at 11:35-ish.
All right. I'll be counting it down. And a full not so super moon tomorrow night.
2-2 count on Walker. And strike 3 call. Arredondo strikes out Walker looking.
Working outside, then comes inside, picks up the inside corner. Good bit of pitching by Jose Arredondo.
McCutchen, his walk struck out, bounced to short. Quickly out in front, 0-2. Last month, Arredondo had a string of retiring 16 straight batters. That ended on Sunday against Houston.
I think this guy can strike out some people. How about Mr. Chapman out there in their bullpen?
It's a line drive, looks like a riser over Cozart's glove.
Yep. Kind of a punch 3-iron, just little shooter to left field.
We take a look at the road ahead, sponsored by Nissan. Matt Latos, Charlie Morton face off, final game of the series against the Reds is tomorrow. The numbers there. Latos, you can see, has struggled, pitched well a couple starts back. Figure he's going to get it on track. Former Padre and Charlie Morton.
We talked about how Mike Leake had struggled before tonight. He's pretty darn good.
Alvarez now.
See, Pedro can be very good.
Whether McCutchen wants to run or will. 5 out of 7 so far in stolen base attempts. Mesoraco 0 for 8 and trying to throw out runners this season.
0 for 8. Hello.
Looked like maybe McCutchen was leaning a bit.
When you see that number, it makes it very tempting to take off. You don't know how much of that is his fault or lack of help from his pitchers. That can be part of it.
Jackson taken for a ball. And 2-0. It's amazing how things change, Steve. The first month of the season, much of spring training, 2 pitches into an at-bat, it would be 0-2 on Alvarez. Now, most times it's 2-0.
Yep.
If he's not swinging at the first couple pitches.
So not only shortening the swing, but selective. I mean, this is a 2-part deal. And when I was talking to Greg Ritchie, the Pirates batting coach, yesterday before the game, he showed me a 2-page sheet of everything that is involving Pedro Alvarez every day in terms of routine, preparation, when he gets to the ballpark. 2 pages worth. And that's how you lock in. Maybe that's how you become a little more selective, doing different things, working on them on a daily basis, not just occasionally.
Takes the strike.
Yeah, and that's part of it too. And it's different in this situation. You're taking all the way. But there are times when you are going to take strikes, because there are times you can't do anything with certain kind of strikes. And that's part of your selection of when you're going to turn that bat loose, turn that swing loose. You're not going to swing at every strike necessarily.
Oh, got him this time. McCutchen is picked off.
Yep, you see that one flinch. And they get the call from Jim Wolf.
Nobody on. 2 outs. Walked him. Tomorrow, Pirates and Reds, 1:35. All kids 14 and under get one of these pierogi ceramic bowls thanks to Mrs. T's Pierogies. Come early for the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. You can stay after the game. Kids can run the bases thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels. For tickets, go to pirates.com. That's tomorrow. Pierogi ceramic bowls to kids 14 and under. And now the batter is Casey McGee. Out to bat for Grilly. Neil Walker had a 2-run homer in the 3rd. The 7th inning. An RBI single by Scott Rowland made it 2-1. Alex Presley, his lone at bat of the night, homered in the 7th to get that run back. And in the top of the 8th inning, an RBI double by Zach Cozart made it a 1-run game again. Joel Hanrahan, not much room right now. 1-run lead. Jay Bruce, Scott Rowland, Ryan Ludwig due up in the 9th for the Reds. There's the hammer.
He's ready. If he's not, he will be soon.
One left-hand hitter on the bench looking down the road there for Dusty Baker. That's Willie Harris. Those hitters, Bruce and Rowland, to lead off. Good work, career numbers against Hanrahan. So you'd love to get him at least another run. Line drive, base hit. That was whacked by Casey McGee.
Still time to do more damage.
See if McLeod can come up big.
Good at bat for Casey.
Well, McGee on base for the 2nd time, walked in the 4th. Brian Price, the pitching coach, out with Arredondo. Talking about the approach here to McLeod.
Scouting report, perhaps.
McLeod had a couple of hits in his start last night.
Well, you could jumpstart with over 33,000 fans right now if he ran into one. That would be a great prelude to what's going to be following this ball game. But still work to be done.
Ball 1. And ball 2.
Told you that Arredondo can get wild, and this is his program. Nobody warming up for Dusty Baker at this point. It could be about to be a changing situation. Yeah, they're going to start loosening up.
3-0 snap throw towards second. Alvarez back. Alvarez walked after McCutcheon was picked off. 3-0 count on McLeod. And it's ball 4.
Not close.
They are loaded for Barmes. Does Baker stick with Arredondo?
I don't see him moving around. No, Dusty's kind of holding his ground.
Steve talked about the bouts with wildness. And now the base is loaded and no room. Barmes needs to be patient. Now Barmes not a patient hitter, so it's an interesting combination here. Barmes has 1 walk this season. '83 plate appearances.
I'll tell you one thing, if he finds a gap or a corner, you're going to score 3 runs because Nate McLeod doesn't have anybody near him.
And ball 1. So this being tested here, the Barmes patience or lack thereof, and a bit of wildness here from Arredondo. He takes it's 1-1. A couple of ground balls to short and a strikeout tonight for Barmes. One and 2. Barmes has never hit a grand slam, in case you're wondering,
till tonight. It's a rhetorical question.
Stays 1 and 2. A strikeout in the inning, a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and a pickoff. Two and 2. Getting interesting here. Pirates look for insurance.
Now Clint's been around a while. I don't think you can, well, usually you don't look for anything but a fastball and adjust, but in this situation Arredondo does not want to go to a full count, so you got to be thinking fastball.
Whoa, the slider missed. It's 3 and 2.
Took the chance, and now it's come down to cases.
No place to put him. He's walked 2 in the inning.
And they'll start up the carousel.
Alvarez, McGee, and McLeod will be off on this pitch. And they're going to rev it up here. Over 33,000. Struck him out. Bases left loaded. A 1-run lead for Joel Hanrahan to the ninth. Going to the 9th inning. Check out our AGH Sports Medicine injury update. Jeff Karstens left his start against the Diamondbacks April 17th. Right shoulder inflammation. Threw from 90 feet on flat ground yesterday. We have our fingers crossed that he'll be back before too long. He's anxious.
A lot of people in this building anxious right now.
Yeah. Yeah, a 1-run lead. Try to even the series. It's Joel Hanrahan. His numbers on the year. It's for his 5th straight save. I told you about the individuals he will be facing. Bruce to start things, then Rolen in particular, and then Ludwig. Bruce 3 for 9 with a pair of home runs and a walk against Hanrahan. Rolen 5 for 11 with a walk against him. Strike one. Five of his 40 saves last year came against the Reds. But also 2 blown saves against them.
Well, nobody really needs to be told. 1-run ball games, you know, they're the games that are up for grabs. Play this many games and you're going to look back over a season, and a lot about how you finish up is going to be determined about your record in 1-run games.
Two 2-1 count. Two and two.
Power against power. Jay Bruce against Joel Hanrahan.
And now it's a full count.
So you want to be a pitching coach. Just stand there. This is your man. You just got to kind of hold your breath and hope he gets the job done.
Still 3 and 2. He pitched on Thursday against the Cardinals. To center field, McCutchen, 1 out. I don't know if McCutchen was exaggerating that ball into the glove, but making certain. Let's see, maybe I'm wrong here. Yeah.
I'm going to look
Get
at
that
into
thing
the glove.
in there. It is not leaving that glove.
You know, some of those balls will have that knuckleball effect. I didn't see anything like that, but I wasn't out there waiting for it to get to me either.
Now Scott Rowland with 1 away. And strike 1. Struck out his first time up, walked to lead off the 5th, and was thrown out trying to advance on a fly ball to center field in the 7th inning after he had singled in a run. Pops this one out of play.
A couple of fastballs, 96 miles an hour. The first one called strike, and then that 96 mile an hour fastball, Scott was just simply behind it. He wasn't able to catch up to it. Sometimes you think in this situation, the guy's capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark. You throw him a slider in case you miss downstairs more likely than. Yep. That doesn't hurt you. If you miss with a fastball upstairs or he's guessing with you, now that's the ball that can get out. If you miss with that slider, you're not going to get hurt.
One and two. Pops him up. And it's Barmes. Hanrahan 1 out away from earning his 5th save. Stay with us immediately after this game. Paul Alexander and Kent Tekulve have the Pirates post-game show. So stay with us. A lot to talk about in this one.
Yep. Cinco de Mayo. Uno más.
Yes.
One more out.
Total 5 runs scored in this game. The Pirates with 3 of them, and now everybody stands.
Okay.
Here's Ludwig. Two and 0. There's a strike.
According to Ryan Culpa, not according to Ryan Ludwig.
Steve said uno más on Cinco de Mayo. One more to get the 5th save. Cinco for Hanrahan. And now it's 3-1. Pop them up. Walker out. Raise it. The Jolly Roger. A 1-2-3 ninth. Save number 5 for Hanrahan. A wild game.
Pirates had to work hard for this one. A lot of good defensive plays. They got the long ball that accounted for the offense. So limited opportunities for the offense. When the pitching is good enough, you can make it stand up. And that's exactly what the Pirates did on a Saturday night. Well-deserved, hard-working win for the Bucks in front of a lot of people.
James McDonald got the W. Hanrahan the save. Pirates win it. Use the long ball and some wild defensive plays to down the Reds and even the series. A lot to talk about. Let's get it started with Paul and Teague right now.